Good morning, beautiful beings. What's up? My name is Jeanette, also known as Ms.FitVegan, and today I want to teach you how to know when a HAMI melon is ripe. But before we get into that, I want to talk about labels. So, Ava Loves Raw is a great YouTube channel you should definitely be subscribed to. I love it. It's EVA Loves Raw. And I love her new video. It's about how labels can be detrimental to you. So, like labeling yourself a raw vegan, I do understand what her point is. Personally, I do call myself a raw vegan because I eat only raw vegan food. However, she had such a good point, and we got to explore this because if you are so consumed with being 100% raw, being 100% perfect, then you're most likely going to fall off. And that almost happened to me. In the first 6 years, I was 100% raw and 100% organic. And I wouldn't even have maple syrup. I wouldn't have, I wouldn't have oats. Well, I don't eat oats now anyway, but I wouldn't have anything that was not considered raw. And what happened was my whole world came crashing down when I realized there were a lot of things I was consuming that weren't even healthy, but they were raw, like cacao, like agave. Well, agave, turns out I found out agave wasn't raw. Like cashews, I found out they weren't healthy and they were considered raw or they were labeled raw, but they weren't even raw. You know, when I found out that there is no regulation, the FDA does not regulate the word raw or natural or healthy on a label, then everything changed for me because I realized, wow, I'm not even the healthiest I could be and I'm 100% raw. So what I did was I started focusing on being 100% healthy, 100% healthy and not, 100% raw per se. Although I do eat raw, but here's the thing, okay? Right now, if I want to have some maple syrup, I will have that. I love to put, it's like mustard, maple syrup, and blend, just mix it together, and that's an amazing dressing. And back in the past, I wouldn't do that. I would be so consumed with being perfect, and it was actually hurting me. It was hindering my lifestyle. And if I went to a raw food restaurant, I couldn't even eat anything because it had like oil in it or salt or cacao or nutritional yeast. And now I have that socially. So what I did was I made a list. And I've talked about this before, but I made a list of the things that I love to eat, that I eat, that I eat on a daily basis, that I keep in my house. I made a list of the things that I only eat socially, and then I made a list of the things I never eat. And the things that I never eat are processed foods, okay? Fast food, animal products, grains, things like that. And the things that I eat socially are things like cacao and maybe salt and maybe raw vegan gourmet food, and even cooked, healthy, steamed, or baked vegetables. I would eat those socially. Of course, no oil. I don't like to consume oil personally. It just doesn't make me feel good, and I always break out. So that's the reason I don't like to consume oil. Okay. So I loved that video. You should definitely check it out. But I also think it's important to label yourself. So this is where we disagree. I think it's important to label yourself a healthy vegan. Personally, I call myself a healthy vegan. Of course, I do also call myself raw, even though, I'm not perfect. I have maple syrup sometimes. I have cashews sometimes. I have tahini that from roasted sesame seeds sometimes. And I know this is not a big deal because perspective 2023, guys. I used to eat fried chicken. I used to eat McDonald's. I used to eat pizza. I used to eat bagels. Okay, so cashews once in a while, it's not a big deal. I don't have it every single day. What I focus on is the fruit. So I really want you to think about yourself as a healthy vegan. And I do think it's actually important. This is where we disagree. I think it's important to label yourself something, because if you just eat everything, then that's not good. You got to know your identity, because you always stick to what you think you are. Are you somebody who always messes up? Are you somebody who cannot fight cravings? Are you somebody who eats junk food every once in a while because you can't resist it? Like, whatever you're saying about yourself is going to come true. Now, let's get into real quick the HAMI melon life. Okay, so how to know when a HAMI melon is ripe? First of all, you're going to smell it. All melons except watermelons have to smell before you open them. That's number one. It has to be very fragrant. Number two, it has to have some give. Okay, it has to have some give. And finally, number three, it has to have no green between the webbings. You see, there's absolutely no green. It's even dark. Okay, this is a great sign. Open it up. And melons should definitely be juicy, sweet, and delicious. If your melon tastes like nothing, I gotta tell you, I don't recommend eating it. I don't recommend eating anything that does not taste really, really good, or else you will not stick to this lifestyle. You just won't. And so that's it. That's the video for the day. Let me try it. Hold on. So good. Two more things. I got 3 types of mangoes here. I got the Atalfo, I got the Tommy, and then I have a random one, and I don't know the name of this. It's not an Atalfo. If anybody knows, I gotta look at the mango charts, but 3 types of mangoes. Last thing, I promise, this video is never ending. Last thing, I got a brand new plunger or tamper for the Vitamix, and I want to let you guys know that it was cheaper to buy it on Amazon, but make sure you buy it from the Vitamix brand. I went to the website and it was going to be way more, okay, with the shipping. So get your tampers from the Vitamix Amazon. It's cheaper. I finally got a new one because the other day I actually tried to make nice cream without a lid. I couldn't find the lid to my blender, and I thought I was a pro, so I used the tamper, and it like chipped the end, and I had to buy a new one after 12 years. So anyway, that's the video for the day. I know that was really stupid. I love you guys so much. Thanks for being here. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, boo.